I'm Mark Grant, Director of South Coast Building Company. We're based in Southampton. The business has been traded for about 5 years, a traditional building company. 12 months ago, embarked upon putting renewable energy, retrofitting renewable energy products into residential properties in the UK. The business was the change in the business, so it's fairly embryonic in the new phase of the business. So the usual problems that you would get, probably not the most sophisticated financial controls in the first instance, not a great deal of discipline towards purchase orders, invoicing, not the level of control over simply live costs, real life budgeting and managing your costs on a project whilst it was running. So they were the challenges. A great deal of management time was being spent sometimes in dispute with suppliers over what had been agreed and what hadn't been agreed. There would be duplicate invoices appearing. Our suppliers, I'm not going to mention any names, but not all of them are as sophisticated as they could be about making sure that they're applying the costs that we've been agreed. So if we've got 20 or 30 projects on the go and goodness knows how many invoices, some of them with 30 different lines, entries on there, 150 different products, how do you check all of that against the price you've agreed with your supplier? So we needed a way of doing that because it wasn't happening as the way it should be. Again, similarly with delivery notes, we're having products delivered all over the country. How do we know what was being delivered where and when it was received, etc. And also applying those costs to, trying to find a way of applying those costs to individual areas of the projects. So that was the challenge we had, and I started looking around for a solution. Actually, no. There was spreadsheets. There was obviously an option, which I try and keep well away from. Historical problems with those. So I just went online, really looked at Xero, because a management accounting system. Looked at that, pushed the button which said apps, put in construction industry, and LiveCosts came up, and phoned the guys up. Interesting conversation. I left a message and got a call back from somebody in about 3 minutes. And no, that was one of the directors of the company. It was even more impressive. So yeah, we had a good conversation, and then we did the demo. But then again, it looked like the right thing. Discussed it with a couple of directors internally, and we went through the training process. And gradually, as I got to understand it more, I started to realise how much of a good fit it was for our business. Well, you always have reservations, don't you, when you sign yourself up to a software company, because you're convinced, well, not convinced, but certainly historically, my experience has been that you get the hard sell. It's never going to be that much of a good fit, but they'll tell you it can do everything. And then you'll get hounded forever and ever, amen, about joining or taking up the product. So I was a bit concerned initially about going down that track. And then, of course, the other reservation you've got is, I on board with it, it becomes quite a big part of your business, and then you find out it doesn't quite work as well as it could do, and then you've got to backtrack out of your business, and that's always quite disruptive. So they were the reservations I had. The ability to create the purchase orders meant that a purchase order stage, you could see where the costs were being attributed to a project. Then being able to process delivery notes and the invoices into the back office or a management accounting system via LiveCosts. So that meant we only had to touch the invoices once, and on the way through, they were reconciling with the catalogue list that we had from our suppliers. So it was achieving quite a lot in an automated fashion. Oh, it's very difficult to be specific about one because they're all equally as good. I mean, it just helps the business, the flow through of the documentation into the management accounts, and gives us visibility in real time of where we're spending our money, and also gives us reassurance that we are only spending what we should be spending at the right price. Yeah, there's a lot less time with the management team arguing amongst themselves and with suppliers about what was agreed and what wasn't agreed, because it's all very transparent at the front end now. And we can increase our business probably threefold this year. I think it's fair to say without LiveCosts, we'd probably have to beef up our finance team by another 2 or 3 people. So there is significant savings, without a doubt. Yeah, and of course, we're not losing money, as much money as we were before. It's the throughput of the paperwork, the automation, and which means that we have to employ less people to achieve our objective. Fairly straightforward, really. push a button and you're talking to Xero. The invoices go into Xero via LiveCosts, and the receipts or the invoices from the suppliers automatically go against the project. So what I have then in LiveCosts are the costs associated with the project and the income, which is all integrated through Xero, and it happens automatically. Well, if you're in the construction industry and you want to get some serious control around your spend and put some efficiencies in your, the financial side of your business, then I'd purchase LiveCosts. What I would also say is that when you've purchased it, whilst it's fairly intuitive, there's a lot in there. So it's not going to just jump up and bite you. You've got to go and work with it. And the guys are very good. You ask a question online, Patrick normally answers within 2 or 3 minutes. You've got plenty of videos online through YouTube. There's plenty of support in there.